Let's do it. I think now is a good time. Okay, so I am going to introduce myself. I am Beth Myers, and I am one of the directors of InclusiveU. I'm the director of the Tayshoff Center, which oversees InclusiveU. And we have a whole bunch of people on here who work for InclusiveU. So I thought maybe we could start by doing some introductions. So I'm Beth Myers, and do you see on my name, next to my name, it says InclusiveU? We tried to have everybody who works at InclusiveU who's on the call today to put InclusiveU next to their name so that we could all introduce ourselves and you could see who is who. So I'm going to just go down the screen and I'm going to let Carly go next. Carly, can you introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Carly Gorfassi. I'm the Director of Communications and Events for InclusiveU. So I'm the one that sets up things like these Zoom sessions and sends you the emails to come and join us. So you might see my name on some things. I also plan our state-of-the-art in student leadership conference, which some of you might have attended in the past.
Awesome, thanks. Bud, how about you?
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bud Buckout. I'm the Director for InclusiveU.
Micah.
Hi, I am Micah. I help with tabling and I graduated from InclusiveU in 2015, and now I work there and I help teach and I help teach at the school too.
Brianna.
Hi, everybody. I'm Brianna Schultz. I am the Internship and Employment Coordinator. So anything having to do with work or work on campus, I work with all of our students at InclusiveU.
And Sam.
Hi, everyone. Sam Rue here. Greetings from the home studio that I've got set up behind me. I'm the Student Support Coordinator from InclusiveU. I work really closely with the students who live on campus here at InclusiveU. Look forward to meeting all you later.
Awesome. Do we have any other staff that are on right now? Did I get everyone? Okay, I think I got everybody who's on the call right now. So thank you everyone for joining us. I'm really glad that you're here. I wanted to just give you a quick little overview because you might hear me talking about the Tayshoff Center and you might hear me talking about InclusiveU and you might hear me talking about Syracuse University. And for us, that kind of is all the same thing. So the Tayshoff Center is one of the disability centers at Syracuse University, which actually has a lot of supports and services for students with disabilities. Tayshoff Center is really committed to increasing opportunities in higher ed for students with intellectual and developmental disabilities. But we kind of do lots of things. We do research, we help other colleges and universities increase their opportunities for students, and we also do programming for students. And we provide lots and lots of kinds of supports. And the support and programming that we do is called InclusiveU. And so you're really here today to hear mostly about our InclusiveU program, because we think that you're probably here because you're interested in applying, or maybe you've already applied, or you want to hear more about our InclusiveU program. So that's what we're really getting into today, is to really talk more about that. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to watch a video about, it's a new video, so you might not have seen this one yet, but this is our new InclusiveU overview. And we're going to show that to all of you. And then we're going to talk about it. So let's start here. I think. Hold on one second.
Should be right in the middle.
Yep, hold on.
I'm here, Denise. I'm here.
I might just need to stop and then start again. 1 second.
Do you have it up, Bree? Do you want to share your screen and do it? Okay. Beth, how about we do that? How about
Wait,
Bree
hold
can
on,
share
I
her
got it.
screen? Okay.
Enable content. For some reason, I had a security block. Let me see if I can try that again. Let me try one more time.
There we go.
Now I just have to screen share again. Hold on one second. Thank you, everybody, for being patient with me. Every student. Every student deserves the opportunity to have the college experience to help them achieve their dreams. InclusiveU is an opportunity for students with intellectual disability to have a full college experience. So students earn a meaningful certificate from Syracuse University. Students declare a major. They participate in fully inclusive coursework. They can participate in college internships and real business opportunities. Students can participate in clubs and organizations. Students can live in residence halls. Our students have lots of I heard that it's choppy, so I'm going to go in one different way because I'm showing it directly through this PowerPoint. And I think that might not be the best way to show it to you. So give me one more chance. Hold on. I am going to try one more time to show you this video.
Beth, mine's up. Do you want me to share it?
Yeah, would you mind? You know how to
Yeah.
optimize it?
Yep.
That would be great. Thank you. Every student deserves the opportunity to have the college experience to help them achieve their dreams. InclusiveU is an opportunity for students with intellectual disability to have a full college experience. So students earn a meaningful certificate from Syracuse University. Students declare a major. They participate in fully inclusive coursework. They can participate in college internships in real business opportunities. Students can participate in clubs and organizations. Students can live in residence halls. Our students have lots of peer opportunities and participate in attending athletic events.
My favorite things about SU was everything was my favorite. Like being able to be with my friends, doing all these opportunities that I didn't think I was gonna do.
I love SU because it's fun, especially my favorite mascot, Otto.
Harry Dio. Good for you, 2020. Go Cuse. Let's go our house.
I think the first time I met Harry was when he came in for orientation. He was a student who just getting from one room to another could easily get lost or confused. Harry became this student over 4 years who lived independently in the dorms. He became this student who could navigate campus on his own. When he walks across campus, he knows everyone. He is just a star.
This little kid, we love basketball a lot.
Harry started working with the men's basketball team as one of the student managers. Harry has always had this love of sports and athletics, and it fit right in with his career goals and also with his major. I think was something that was really just a dream come true for him.
Basketball manager. And coming out Saturday, my boys are awesome.
And then his senior year, Harry participated in our senior internships. We know that for many of our students, getting a job after graduation is a really important goal for them. And it's an important goal for most college students. The internship year is something that we think is a really important part of our InclusiveU programming, that we help support students in choosing something that is tied to their career interests and is related to their major. All of these pieces really tie together for a student like Harry because he took courses in his major area of study, and so his major was exercise science. He worked with the men's basketball team throughout his college career, and he also did his internships in both the Barnes Center and the Manley Fieldhouse. So those internships really tied into what his career goals are. Often our students go to classes with a peer mentor that can help them with their schoolwork, who can help them organize their materials, help them participate in class, help them participate in group work, help them with their homework. Students can bring a mentor, or students can work with us to hire an SU student to be a peer mentor. We set up from the very beginning a peer-to-peer program. It's really expanded the social opportunities for students and really given them that extra first step in how to get involved. We're really proud of our program and how much it's grown in the last few years. 3 years ago, we had our first student who lived in the residence hall, and that was Megan.
When I started as a freshman at InclusiveU, I was very shy and I didn't really know anybody. I was the first person to live in the dorms.
We work with the InclusiveU students to figure out what kinds of supports they might need. Residential mentors are SU students who live in the residence halls and get matched up with our students based on their needs.
It was just really hard for me because I guess I wasn't used to living away from home, but then I got really used to it after a while, and I stayed in the dorm, and I met a lot of nice people and everything who let me be who I am. Harry lived downstairs too, so we all hung out together all the time.
To see her graduating from Syracuse University and about to move into her own apartment, I'm just really proud. Cleo was our first Remembrance Scholar from InclusiveU. The Remembrance Scholarship is the highest honor at Syracuse University. And to have a Remembrance Scholar as an InclusiveU student is something that we actually didn't know could ever happen. I'm really proud to be part of Syracuse University because of their inclusive stance.
It makes me feel good because they know I've been supporting this college community here at Syracuse University because they know I've been attending every event. My student organization campus involvement I was part of was Relay for Life. I was a recruitment chair. My sophomore year, I joined Sport Management Club, a student association I'm also part of. I liked it so I could show my leadership.
No dream is too big. Just because somebody told you that you couldn't do these things, or just because you were nervous or scared, doesn't mean that you can't go out and do these big things in your life. Because these three prove that it's possible, and you can do it too. This is a college campus where students with disabilities are really part of the full college experience?
I'll say I changed because I'm a grown-up person.
You can do anything that you want to do.
I love security. It is my life right now.
Awesome. Thank you so much for watching our overview video. So now I'm going to go back to sharing our PowerPoint. Okay, so here I am. I'm going to go over a couple of points about our program. And then feel free to ask questions. You can put questions in the chat. You can raise your hand with the little hand raising emoji, or you can feel free to hold questions to the end. We'll be happy to take questions at the end too from everyone. So feel free to stop at any time. But I'm just going to talk about a couple of these pieces, and then as I go forward, I'm going to talk about, I'll call on a few of our other staff who are here to talk about some of the pieces as well. But all of our students who come in, InclusiveU is intended to be a 4-year program. So just like any other college student, some students take a little bit less time and some students might take a little bit longer. So we do have a few students here and there who maybe finish in 3 years, and some students who maybe need a 5th year to complete the program. But typically students finish in about 4 years, just like a regular college program. And all of our students come in and they work with our advisors. So you get assigned an advisor from InclusiveU. And also you work with advisors across the university, but through University College. So all of our students register through University College as an official university student. And you work with your InclusiveU advisor every semester, and you do your person-centered planning with our university advisors to help really select your course of study. All of our students do academic coursework. Now, often this is a really big question for our students, which is, how do I participate in academic coursework? And how do I select what kind of courses I'm going to take? And what if I need a lot of accommodations and modifications? And how do I do this? How do I participate in academic coursework at the college level? And I think that is something that is something that a lot of people are worried about when they first come to college. That's why we're here. That's why InclusiveU is here to support you. All of our students work with their advisors to pick a college major. So you have lots of different majors to choose from, and our students choose all kinds of majors. So we have students who right now are majoring in all kinds of things, from disability studies to child and family studies to anthropology. I think we have a student who's majoring in biology. We have students who are majoring in music, jewelry making. We have students who are majoring in drama. So we have students who have a really wide range of majors, and you can choose a major based on your interests, what you want to do for a career after you graduate, what you're good at, what you have been good at in courses before. And you can work with your advisor to really help you decide what kinds of classes you want to take. All of our students are working towards a university certificate. So you're not working towards a bachelor's degree, but you're working towards a university certificate in your major area of study. Most of our students take classes in their major area of study every semester, at least one class in their major area of study, and then some electives as well. You usually need 5 classes in your major area of study in order to earn your university certificate. by the time you graduate, plus your electives. So most of our students take anywhere between, most of our students take an average of 2 to 3 classes per semester. Some students only take 1 or 2 classes per semester. Some students take maybe 4 classes per semester. It just depends on what you want your schedule to look like and how much you think you can handle, and your advisor can help you decide. Thinking about your schedule, thinking about whether you're living on campus, thinking about all of the other time commitments that you have. All of our students also receive an opportunity for what we call enhanced instruction, which are our seminars. We offer seminars just about every day. Seminars are part of our InclusiveU programming. And these are some additional opportunities for learning that are entirely optional. I would say entirely optional, except for the fact that we have a freshman seminar that all of our freshmen have to participate in. And we have an additional class called Positive Choices, a seminar called Positive Choices that is mandatory for our students the first year that they live in the dorms. So if you're planning to be a residential student and live in our dorms, then you do have to take Positive Choices the first year that you live in the dorms. Other than that, we offer a wide range of seminars, and those seminars you can choose to take several seminars, or you can choose to take no seminars at all if you don't want to take any. We offer, usually I offer a seminar on self-representation. We usually have a seminar that Micah runs on. Micah, what's your seminar that you're doing this semester?
This semester it's on like government and politics.
Politics and self-advocacy?
Yeah.
And Brianna, what seminars have you run before?
We've done creativity in college, so kind of trying to find a hobby or a craft or some sort of creative outlet for yourself to de-stress in college.
And Bud, how about you? What seminars have you done?
I have done help with positive choices in the past, and then I've also done a seminar on healthy eating and then healthy living with exercising.
Great. And Sam, how about you?
My favorite one that I've been able to do so far is when the Barnes Center, which is our main gym, was open before COVID. We had a seminar about exploring that Barnes Center, so going all over. We had a week where we went on the rock wall, a week where we did the pool, a week where we walked through the weight room, a week in the esports lounge, which my nerdy self really loved. Everyone got to try the PlayStations and the really nice computers they had. That was a super fun seminar.
Awesome. Sometimes we do seminars on financial management. Sometimes we do them on relationships. Sometimes we have students who run seminars on all kinds of things that we're not very good at, like how to set up a Snapchat account or other ways to use social media. Sometimes we've had students just do one-time seminars on using the 3D printing lab or tie-dye or other kinds of interesting things that students like to do. So we've had a lot of really great seminars that students have volunteered for. We also offer a wide range of supports, and most of our supports are based on what students need. Some students get a small amount of supports, and some students get a large amount of supports. And a lot of that really depends on how much a student needs. Sam, I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about the student support assistance.
Sure. Yeah, so for students who don't use Medicaid to pay for their supports, we do, as InclusiveU, hire what we call student support assistants, but what we call more unofficially as campus mentors. So these campus mentors are a support that you can bring on through InclusiveU. And these campus mentors are going to be, they're going to be doing a lot of that academic support with you. So this would be a person who would go to class with you, who would maybe help you with note taking or whatever else that you needed to be successful in class, some advocacy and things like that. Then they also may be spending some time with you after class to either do review of what you learned in class or maybe do some of your assignments and other homework. They're also there as a social support too. They want to help you be able to get involved in campus. So if there's some clubs that you're interested in looking more into, they may help you out with some research. They might go to some of the meetings with you to make sure that you feel comfortable being a part of that group. All those kinds of things the campus mentor can do for you.
And if you are a student who is eligible for Medicaid waiver, we work with a local agency, and that agency is staffed right here in our offices, and they hire Syracuse University students, a whole slew of them every semester, to be campus mentors and to provide those supports for anywhere from 3 hours per week to 20 or 30 hours per week, depending on your self-direction budget. So we offer it at a lot of different levels of support, and you can decide what kind of level of support you need to be most successful. We also have our peer-to-peer program, which I know was mentioned in the video. And our peer-to-peer program, students get matched up with a peer partner, and you can meet with your peer partner usually once or twice a week. But in addition to that, we also have peer trainers, and our peer trainers really put together kind of a schedule and a list of social events that are happening on campus every week. And then they also give you ways to get involved in those events. So they might say, hey, they'll send out a newsletter every week. And every week that newsletter will say, hey, there's a basketball game that's happening on Saturday. If you want to go, we're all meeting up on the quad at 4 o'clock. Or a group of us are going ice skating on Tuesday afternoon. If you want to go, meet us at 3. Or text Tori at this number. Or if you want to go to the movies with us on Wednesday night, text Rexy at this number. And so there's sort of a way for you to get involved and things for you to do socially every day if you want. And there are some students who really want a robust social life. There are some students who want to do things with friends every single day. And there are some students who don't want to. There are some students who want to do more things by themselves, and they want to spend a little less time doing those things, and that's okay too. The really great thing about college is you get to make a lot of choices about what you want and how you want to spend some of your time. You get to pick your classes. You get to pick what kinds of social events you want to participate in. We don't make decisions for you. You get to make choices about how you want to spend your time and what you want to do. There are tons of clubs, tons of student activities that you can participate in. I think, we have well over 200 different clubs and student activities that students can participate in at the university. Everything from a gaming club to a running club. There's lots of, there's a Quidditch club. There's all kinds of things that you can participate in if you're interested. And again, you don't have to participate in any of those. You can choose what kinds of clubs and organizations you want to participate in, and you can get support to participate in those too if you want. And then we have another slide on internships and inclusive housing. So I'm going to skip those for right now. Okay, here we go. Internships. Bree, I'm going to turn this over to you.
Thanks. So typically our internship year is a student's senior year of college, even though if you are interested in working or doing an internship prior to your senior year, that is something we can definitely work into your schedule. But our InclusiveU students' senior year, typically we dedicate completely to work, and they complete 2 semester-long internships. So over the course of 15 weeks, working 20 hours per week. In addition to our internships, students do an employment skills class every morning before going to work. And this skills class covers resume work, it covers interview skills, it covers daily work events such as how to talk to your coworkers, when you should take out your cell phone, how to request time off, different things like that. And then we also offer support of job coaching through Access VR, which is our vocational rehab, or students have the option to bring in their own private support if that's something that they are interested in doing as well. We really try and work with each student to make each employment site individualized. And we really want to focus on transferable job skills. So things that you will learn and that you'll be able to use over the course of many years. We really try and make the best matches for a student's career goal. And we also try and challenge you and push you to try and see if you like something new as well. This is kind of your time to try that job that you're not sure of, or try a new skill, just to start and see if it's something that you enjoy. So what students also get in our senior year, or in their senior year, is access to our business engagement group, who mentor and advocate for students in our community. And this is a group of local business owners or entrepreneurs that have dedicated time to our InclusiveU students to really help advocate for them in the Syracuse community, or help to network and create connections in other communities around the area. So just thinking about internship sites, right now we have about 35 internship sites for students to choose from. They range anywhere from our parking and transit service department to our child care center, the Barnes Center, the library, food services. So we cover a lot of different things, but we're also constantly developing this list to meet the needs of our students as well.
Thank you, Bree. Sam, do you want to talk about housing?
Sure. Yeah, so InclusiveU students do have the ability to live in our residence halls here on campus. So the residence halls that our students are living in are fully inclusive, as is basically the entire experience here at InclusiveU. They live in residence halls throughout campus. We typically have students in a few different residence halls each year. This year, due to COVID, we did combine them all into one residence hall, but typically students live in multiple different halls throughout campus. So these residence halls are scattered all throughout campus, might have students from all different age ranges, you know, from freshman to senior. And really, the main benefit of being on campus is you have full access to campus activities. You are at SU 24/7. You are a student who is able to access and get involved with whatever you want to on this campus. And there's quite a lot that our students who live on campus are able to get involved in. One big piece that I think our students who live on campus are really able to access that they've loved is what SU calls their Orange After Dark event series. And these are events that happen pretty much every weekend, typically, you know, after 8 or 9 p.m. And these are events that are like all over the place in terms of what you might want to get involved in. There are times where they might have movies on the quad late at night, or there are different kinds of ways where you might go out into the community and go to cosmic bowling or something like that. There are opportunities every single weekend to get involved in nightlife here at SU without having to go to some frat party. There are amazing opportunities here on campus for our students in that way. In terms of support, our students do do have access to what we call residential mentors, which was mentioned in our piece earlier. So these residential mentors are full-time SU students, and we hire them to either live as roommates of our InclusiveU students or as neighbors, maybe a door or two down. And what these residential mentors do is really help, I think, bridge the gap between the life that you lived before, living at home and, you know, having all that support there for you, and all of a sudden being on your own, being independent, living without family or anything like that. I think that they do an amazing job at helping students really adapt to that transition. They're going to help you find your laundry the first week and maybe help you learn that whole system. They're going to go to the residence hall and show it, or rather, they're going to go to the dining hall and show you all around some of the dining halls and how to use your SUID to get food. All those kinds of things that are a discovery process and can be really overwhelming. They're going to help out with those kinds of things. They're also there throughout the entire year. So they're there even if you've got the process down, the routine down. They're going to be there to be a social support for you, to help you out if you're struggling with keeping your room clean and things like that. So they're a really great resource for our students, especially in the first year, but for a lot of students, a great resource throughout their entire time here at SU. And that'll do that.
Awesome. Thanks, Sam. Okay, so here's a little bit, just a quick kind of day in the life of one of our students. This is one of our students, Andrew. So our students might meet with a peer partner for breakfast or coffee, and then maybe work out at the gym with that peer partner. Then they might go meet with one of their mentors and go to class and then study or do homework. Then maybe they go to Varsity Pizza, which is our great pizza place that all the students love on Marshall Street with their friends. And then maybe they go to a seminar in the afternoon and use the library or computer lab. And then maybe they go to a club or an organization in the afternoon. And maybe they meet their friends at one of the dining halls for dinner. And then maybe in the evening, they go to an Orange After Dark activity that Sam was just talking about. So sometimes, you know, you can really pack out your schedule if you want to, or if you're somebody who wants to have kind of more downtime in your day, you can. If you're somebody who wants more than this in your schedule, you can pack out your day. So it just really depends on what works best for you. So there's a couple of different paths to InclusiveU. If you are a student in the Syracuse City School District, then you might come to our program through a partnership called the On-Campus program. And if you're coming in that way, then you are also an InclusiveU student, just like everybody else, but you come in through sort of a different pathway. And that pathway is through the partnership with the Syracuse City School District. So we have sort of a limited number of spots that are through that partnership. We also have another partnership that's called our Access program, and that is through a partnership with Onondaga Community Living, and that is for local students, and we have a limited number of spots that are through that partnership also. And both of those programs have some really specific limitations to them, like a certain number of classes that you can take, or certain payment options, or certain ways that you can come in or apply, but you still count as an InclusiveU student. Other ways that you can come in as an InclusiveU student would mean using our regular application system that you can pay for the program in different ways. One is just using regular private pay, just like other students might use private pay for college. You could also use dependent tuition benefits. If you have a parent or a guardian who is staff or faculty at Syracuse University, you can use dependent tuition benefits to help offset the costs of attending InclusiveU. You can also, if you're a New York State student who's eligible for Medicaid waiver and you have self-direction, then you can use your self-direction budget to help pay for the program. We have some students who use their self-direction budget to pay for the program in full. We have some students who use their self-direction budget to pay for part of the program. So it depends on how much funding you have through self-direction and how much of the program you're using. So are you living in the dorms? How much support do you need? And how much room do you have in your self-direction budget? And we can help answer a lot of these questions, but also your broker can help answer a lot of those questions as well. We also are a comprehensive transition program, so our students do qualify to apply for federal financial aid. So you can, when you apply, you can fill out the FAFSA, and we encourage everyone to apply for the FAFSA, even if you're not sure if you would qualify for financial aid, because we found that that's really helpful for lots of students to see what they might qualify for, to see if you could get a financial aid package from the university, or to see if you would qualify for a federal grant. And that doesn't mean that's not a loan. So that doesn't mean that you would apply for loans that you have to pay back after college. This means grant money or federal financial aid that would offset your cost of tuition entirely. Okay. Okay. Sam, I think last time you talked a little bit about the application process. Do you want to talk about the application? Was it you who talked about it last time, or you want me
I
to?
would be happy to.
All right, why don't you talk about the application and then I'll talk about the admissions committee.
Okay. So we do have a brand spanking new online application. So everything for InclusiveU, the entire application process is now done online through CollegeNet. So if you pop onto our website, you can see a link in order to access the application. The nice thing about it being online is you can, basically stop whenever you want, save your progress rather, and come back into it. Basically, it's going to ask you a lot of questions about yourself, or it's going to ask you questions about things that you think you are naturally good at, things that you think you might need support with. It's going to ask you about your interests and all that good stuff. We just want to get a really good picture of who you are. Generally, we are not basing whether or not an InclusiveU student will be a quality student based on their scholastic achievement, right? Based on what grades they got in high school or whatever. While those are important indicators, what is even more important is that you are a student who shows motivation to learn and motivation to be at Syracuse University. So ultimately, those are going to be, we ask some essay questions at the end, and those are going to be the things that we really want to know. Why do you want to be here? What are your interests, and what do you want to get out of these 4 years that you're going to spend at SU? So those are going to be the big things that we want to learn about. And after you apply, we do an interview with all of our students. So that's going to be where we learn even more about you. Maybe sometime down the future, once life is back to normal, we may be able to do these in person again. But for right now, all of those interviews are done via Zoom. So we'd sit down with you and we'd ask you a whole bunch of questions about yourself. We just want to get the whole picture of who you are. Once we've done that, we then meet as a selection committee and we go through all of our applicants. We chat about each of them. We talk about who we think is going to be really successful here and who's going to get the most out of this experience. And from there, we then send out acceptance letters. In terms of a timeline for all those things, our applications this year are due January 15th, which is just down the road. We then will do interviews in late January and throughout February. We should be, and then you should be receiving word from us sometime in March on whether or not you were accepted if you are applying for this year. I would expect that the timeline is relatively the same for next year, although things may slightly change each year as we continue to work out the process.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, I think we were going to move ahead to this next thing. So these are a couple of different ways that you can connect with us. We are so socially connected. We have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have Instagram. Please follow us. We would love for you to hear our news, see what we're doing, connect with us on all kinds of things. And then we want to show you this last video. So maybe Bree can share. Bree, can you share this video with us? Thank you.
Yep.
You're awesome. Oh wait, I've got to stop sharing for you to share. Hold on.
Thanks.
Okay, we're going to show this last video and then we're going to take questions. So Benji, get your questions ready.
You're so cute. What's your question going to be, Ben?
Hold on.
Hold on 1 second.
We really want students to be able to go to college wherever they want to go, fully included in coursework, fully included in internships, fully included in social opportunities across campus. We know from all of the education research out there that separate is never really equal.
You think you have to do it your way, or my way, this is his way.
It really is a good thing. I enjoy it. If it wasn't for this program, I would probably be sitting home watching TV all day.
You can meet a lot of new people. You can learn from their experience, and you can also grow with them.
People might feel uncomfortable or not really know what to do or afraid that they're going to say the wrong thing. But when it comes down to it, it's just like being with your everyday friends. I think it opens people's eyes.
It's good for other people to interact with you.
The traditional students at Syracuse University really benefit from having InclusiveU on campus. So there's all different ways that we can design classes, and we're much more thoughtful about that as professors because of our InclusiveU programming here. Inclusive higher education really benefits society because it's helping prepare students to be contributing community members, to be more independent in the world, to get jobs, to live in their community. We want to help students make a plan for their future and then prepare for that future in the same way that other college students have the opportunity to do so. We had multiple students who came in and the very first week said, I am now an SU student. First thing I can't wait to do is go to the football game and walk in through gate E because that's the student gate. These are students who often didn't have access to going into the same door as everyone else, and now they do.
Awesome, thank you. So now we're going to take some questions. So we have, let's see.
Yes. I'm actually, I got one in a direct message, so I'd like to start by answering that. It's a great question.
Okay, so Sam, you're first.
Yes. So I got a question about age range for InclusiveU students, and what makes it, is there a cap or anything like that? And the answer is no. While I would say that a majority of our students are between the ages of about 18 to 23, 24, we do have students in their late 20s and even students in their 30s. So there's no age cap on what makes an appropriate InclusiveU student. We've had students from all ages be successful here at InclusiveU.
I think our oldest student right now is 40. So we have some older students, but it's, many of our students are college age, but traditional college age, but not everyone. Do we take financial aid? Yes, we do. Absolutely. Students can apply for FAFSA, and because we are a comprehensive transition program, students do qualify for federal financial aid. When can we use our phones? Anytime you want, Benji. We don't
say that again.
Anytime you want. You can use your phone. We don't tell students they can't use their phones because you just get to use your phone like any other college student uses their phone. But however, I will say that you need to be respectful for using your phone just like any other college student. Like when I'm teaching a class, I don't really like when college students are texting other people in my class. It's like kind of rude, and so I would probably not like if students were texting other people or using their phones during class. So, but you get to decide when you use your phone.
Not during during your free time?
Yeah, you can use your phone during your free time.
How about during the break?
Yeah, during breaks. Yep.
Basically, if you're not in class,
Thanks.
go ahead and use that phone. So we have a question.
You get to decide when to use your phone because you're in college.
Yeah. We have a question here about a graphic arts program. So through the transmedia department at SU, there are different graphic arts classes. And I believe there's a major called computer arts here at the university that students could totally take as their path. There's going to be classes related to like 3D animation, related to computer gaming, things like that. So definitely.
I popped a link in the chat box too about the graphics design major.
Great.
Okay, great. If a student is living on campus, do they usually go home on weekends every so often? Thank you. I would say some students go home sometimes, some students never go home. It's just like every other college student. I would say there's some students who go home. There were maybe once or twice we've had a student who went home like almost every weekend, but that was very rare. There were some students who have gone home never, like they got here and then they went home at Thanksgiving and then again at Christmas, and that was it. Some students go home more often to visit, and some students don't, but that's entirely up to you and what works for you.
Yeah, I would say, just to further clarify, that a vast majority of the students may go home once a semester and that's it. Like I would say almost all of our students who live on campus don't want to go home. And even when the semester break comes, they're super bummed that they're going home. Not because they don't miss their families, just because they really enjoy their time here.
Yes. How many freshman percentage live on campus? That's actually a great question. It's increased every year. I would say this past year, Sam, maybe a third.
Yeah, third's probably a good estimate. I believe we have 7 freshmen this year out of a class of approximately 25. So a third is a pretty good estimate. But yeah, we're increasing the number of InclusiveU students that are living on campus every year. So that number will continue to go up. And so I saw right underneath that what housing options are available besides the residence halls. So in terms of official options through SU, that is the primary one. Although there also are apartments on what we call our South Campus. And so those are, as it sounds, more apartment style living, where you'd have a stove and an oven, you'd have kind of like a living room and then a bedroom, more of a traditional apartment style living arrangement. Those are options for InclusiveU students. But
and our options for dorms, Sam, I just wanted to say, we do have some like a couple of options in terms of dorms. Like you could live in a, we do have some students who live in a single. We have students who live in a double. We have students who live in a split double, which is like 2 students together with kind of a wall in between. And then we've had students who live in a suite. So maybe 4 students living in a suite together. Okay, go ahead. And then there's other students who live.
Yeah. And so we have other students who've chosen not to use Syracuse University's living arrangements, but to get their own. And there's a bunch of different kinds of apartment complexes right close by, walking distance from the university. Some of our students have taken advantage of as well. So there's plenty of options depending on, what level of, what kind of living situation that you want to have. So there's tons of options.
Okay, how many courses are required to earn a certificate? Typically 5 courses are required to earn a certificate in a particular area. So usually our students would take, say you're trying to earn a certificate in anthropology, then typically you would take 5 classes in anthropology, or if you're trying to earn a certificate in food studies, you would take 5 courses in food studies, but you might take, another 15 classes that are electives. So typically our students would take a really wide range of other classes, anything from music classes to cycling to hip hop to, all kinds of other exercise classes or classes of things that they're interested in, or pottery or science or history or literature or writing or computers or all kinds of things that students might be interested in, they can also take as electives. Is it possible to get a hard copy of the application? Great question. Can you print that?
I do not believe
You can't print the
so.
application off of the CollegeNet, no.
I don't think so. I mean, we can look into this. This isn't a question that we've been asked since we switched to the fully online application. So we can reach out to the team and ask, but I am assuming that the answer is no. If this was a barrier for entry, obviously we'd be happy to work on like an individualized solution for you. So just reach out to us and we'd be happy to like talk one-on-one with you and work something out.
Great.
I'm actually just looking for a copy to share with staff. So it's not urgent, but I'll email and one of you. And okay, thank you.
Great.
And you know what would be helpful if I send you a sample of our old application? So yeah, email the Tayshoff Center inbox, Marietta.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Is there speech therapy available on campus? Yes, the answer is we do have a speech clinic actually on campus called the Gebby Clinic. And would InclusiveU help with that? We could help you connect to the Gebby Clinic, and we do have students who do get speech therapy through the Gebby Clinic. And we have connected other students to that, and we do have some students who have a student support assistant who helps get them to and from the Gebby Clinic for speech therapy. What's the difference between the certificate and the university bachelor degree? Good question. The university certificate is a it's a non-bachelor's degree. It's a non-credit certificate. So students are auditing their classes. All of our InclusiveU students, almost all, this is actually a really great point. Almost all of our students are auditing their classes, which means that we can make as many accommodations and modifications to the coursework as we want with the student and the professor. That also means that students can make some selections to how they learn best and can make some selections to how much or how little and in what ways they want to be able to participate in the coursework. So for example, as you know, Bud often says that if students have difficulty writing a 5-page paper, and that's one of the requirements of the class, students could instead do a 5-slide PowerPoint and not get penalized for that because they're auditing the class instead of getting it for credit. However, that is then it's going towards their certificate instead of a bachelor's degree. We do have some students who have been successful in their coursework and have decided to go on to a bachelor's degree, and some students who are taking classes for credit to work towards a bachelor's degree. So that could be an option in some cases, but that would be rare. You know, out of about 90 students we have currently, 2 of them, maybe 3, are working on classes for credit towards a bachelor's degree. And obviously that would probably take a lot longer than the regular 4-year degree. But if that's something that you're interested in, it's certainly something that we're interested in supporting students to do.
Gluten-free options, tons of them, Benji. There's tons of gluten-free options here. If you go into basically any dining hall on campus, there's going to be an entire section dedicated to gluten-free food, and everything's super clearly labeled. So you should have no problem having a gluten-free diet here at SU.
Do they cook the bacon separately?
Do they cook the? That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that question, but I assume that they would do things like that. I assume they wouldn't cook meat in the same thing that they cook other kinds of things in. I assume they take those precautions.
I want to work out in the gym.
You will be able to work out in the gym. Hopefully, I would think so. By fall, gyms will be open.
Post-COVID.
Yeah.
We're hopeful. Do you have a unified sports program? That's a great question. I know we've had some students who have done something with unified sports, but I actually don't know the answer to this. Does anybody know?
To my knowledge, there's nothing official through Syracuse University in terms of unified sports. However, our students are allowed to join intramural teams like anyone else. So while they're not formally considered unified sports, in practice they are, because our students can join them. So while they're not considered,
but is it unified sport? It's not unified sports through Special Olympics, but it could be. I think there was one thing that was unified sports, but I actually forget what it was. I don't know the answer to that. But Sam's right. Theoretically, possibly. I don't know that answer, Jillian. Sorry. Do all InclusiveU students live in one dorm?
No.
No.
Not normally. So for this year, we did do that because of COVID. There was a rule this year that you couldn't go into other people's dorms. So if you lived in Sadler Hall, you could only go into Sadler Hall. You couldn't go into Watson or Day or any of the other ones. So for this year, this school year that we're in right now, I did put all the InclusiveU students in the same residence hall. But in a normal year, which I'm hoping this fall is, we will have our students in a couple different residence halls throughout campus. And that's typically that's what it's been every year before as well. But campus isn't that big. You can get to basically any dorm on campus within 10 minutes. So if you make a friend with someone else who lives in another residence hall, they're not that far.
Is there a recreational therapy program available at Syracuse? Great question. As of right this second, no, but VPA is actually starting one next fall. From what I've heard anyway. VPA isn't that right? Starting that new program, and I think they just posted it. So that's exciting news.
VPA is one of the colleges at SU. So it's the Visual and Performing Arts school within SU.
So the answer is yes, there will be starting in August. Are there mental health services available to students? Yes. We do have a counseling center at the Barnes. And yes, students can receive mental health services through the counseling center. Is there a para swimming program available? We do have swimming available. Sorry, go ahead, Bud.
Sorry, Beth. The professor that teaches the swimming classes, a beginner, intermediate, advanced, is also a coach for the Special Olympics in Syracuse. So she might have some more information.
Y'all are asking some lovely questions.
Yeah, Virginia, can I meet with you at another time or call to talk more in depth? Absolutely. Feel free to contact us. We would love that. Can you take a class for full credit and not audit? Yes, you can do that if you feel like that would be something that you would be up for. Absolutely. Is tuition reduced then because it's a non-bachelor's degree? Yes, great question. For per class, students pay a little less than a third per course when they're not taking it for credit. So it is a little more expensive when you're taking, maybe a little more expensive when you're taking a class for credit as opposed to non-credit.
Yeah, and to be clear, related to tuition, we don't charge some blanket rate for tuition. You're paying for the amount of classes that you're taking, basically per credit. So if you take 12 credits, you are paying for 12 credits at the audit rate. If you take 8, you're only paying for 8 credits at the audit rate. So the tuition that you're being charged is basically just a charge for the classes that you're enrolling in. Some schools may have extra fees put on top, but basically, yeah, you're only paying for the tuition that you're actually enrolling in. So in other words, every student's tuition is going to be slightly different based on the amount of classes that they take.
Are there opportunities to participate in school drama productions or Syracuse stage? That's a great question. There's a lot of both like club level drama productions and like much more official drama productions. And I think there would be lots of opportunities for students to get involved at different levels, depending on your level of experience and probably your talent. So I think that that probably depends, right, on where you are in terms of your experience with drama and drama productions. But yeah, there's tons of opportunities to participate in drama at Syracuse University at both sort of the club level and kind of the for fun level, and then a much more professional level. What about housing prices? So there's a, we'd be happy to, here we go. There's, Carly just posted the information about housing costs. It's not exact for 2021, 2022, but it will be kind of close about housing.
Yeah, and there's also, there's a range on purpose, because living in a room like a single room is going to cost more than living in a double room. You know, they kind of put in the luxury of being in a single room. There's additional cost to that. So that's something to take into consideration too. Yeah. And yeah, I can send it won't be for this coming school year, I don't believe, but I can post in the chat what the actual housing rates were, like to the dollar, for this past school year, the current year that we're in. So you can at least get an idea of the rates that you're looking at.
And feel free to contact us through the Tayshoff Center. Carly, can you post the Tayshoff Center email again? Feel free to contact us through the Tayshoff Center if you have additional questions. You offer assistive technology to the students for their learning needs and styles. In the past, we have provided an iPad for every student and provided sort of additional assistive technologies. We haven't decided if we're definitely doing that going forward, or if we're going to do it as a lending library, depending on what students need. Students have needed sort of a variety of things going, so we're still looking into that. Do we offer application waivers?
We don't charge for our application, so there is no cost to fill out the application. So therefore, we don't need a waiver.
Okay, and don't forget, applications are due January 15th, so that's coming up fast for next fall. We look forward to receiving all of your applications. We're just a little bit past time, so thanks for sticking with us.
Can I give one pointer about the online application? Some of you, I think, have already filled it out. One pointer, you can save and go back in to continue, because it's quite lengthy. So if you get in there and you want to just start it, because you do have to create an account to do the application. It's free, but you do have to create like a personalized account. Go in and start it, and then you can always go back and add more, or think about your essay, your paragraphs describing why you'd be a good fit here. But go ahead and go in there now. Don't wait until January 15th. Okay. And I can post that link in the chat also.
Awesome. Okay, thank you, everyone. Thanks. We're so glad to hear from all of you, and we hope to see you all soon. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, all.
Bye.
I can't.